Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Wahara, Hakodash. Double honors to apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to your elect, which you go to be. Now, it's your brother Hawaii from GMS Chicago. Got a quick little lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who better shame of looking like heathens who spirit bear witness that they're a child of the Heavenly Father. In the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world English calls Jehovah God. In the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world English calls Jesus Christ or Jesus Christos or Yeshua, Yeshua, Yahweh. And pretty much this lesson is going into how, this is an article going into, the lesson is going into spirits of vengeance and stuff, and the time is coming very, very close, where it's going to be like at the peak, and I seen the video on the news and stuff where it was just five lions, man. And then for the fact that it was caught on video, it shows that that they was near residents, man. So I'm gonna read this article and then I'm getting to the scriptures. It says Los Angeles Times. It says a big cat convention. It says rare video captures five mountain lions hanging out together. It says a photo taken from video shows five California mountain lions together outside a home in Pioneer, Calif. And I don't know how to say this dude's name, but they was by residents, man. They was in some man's drive-through and stuff. You know, it says Jackson Calif. It says five California mountain lions were seen together on home surveillance video in a rare gathering of the notoriously solitary big cats. It says the footage was recorded at rural resident at the edge of the El Dorado National Forest east of Sacramento, reported Wednesday. It says we shared the videos and photos with several of our wildlife biologists. It says, and none of them could recall ever seeing five mountain lions together, said Peter Tyra. It says a spokesman for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. It says he called the image extraordinary. It says one of the cougars is bigger than the others, so scientists speculate it's the mother lion. It says the others are likely her cubs, but Tyra does not believe all of them are from the same litter. It says mothers often chase off their cubs after a year, so seeing a family of them is uncommon, he said. It says according to the biologist, the only time mountain lions are spotted together is either during mating season or when a mother is raising her cubs, but typically only three at most are seen together. They're not very tolerant of other mountain lions in their territories, Tyra said. So with this being the case, uh, 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 for them to be all around, be around each other and stuff, it shows that they would be spirits of vengeance, man. You know, because if you pay attention to it, you see a lot of the you see fish beaching themselves, or fish that's dying and stuff, and they rotting and stuff. You get mass amounts of birds dying, massive amounts of cows dying and stuff. Deer dying and stuff. It was a video I seen where a deer pretty much like scratched his antlers off, and his antler just fell off, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got these different diseases that's affecting the deer and stuff. Where their food is dying off, man. What they usually hunt is dying off, so it's just causing them to leave their habitation to search for new food. You know what I'm saying? And uh, 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 so hey, these mountain lions and stuff, they experience a vengeance. And also it says that the within this article it said that the mother usually pretty much chase their cubs away after 1 year. And then for the fact that mountain lions are very territorial and they don't like to be around too many other mountain lions and stuff, it's plain that they're gonna be spirits of vengeance. you know you know. And they also said that one of them was bigger than all the rest. And if it is a mother mountain lion and stuff, it's the mother lions. You know what I'm saying? The lioness that actually teach the cubs how to hunt for food. You know what I'm saying? So that if that is true, you know what I'm saying, that the biggest one is actually the mother, then she's actually teaching these cubs how to feed, man. You know, how to search for food on their own, man. You know, and pretty soon it's not gonna be that many animals, man. You know, for them to eat. So then they're gonna start attacking people, man. You know. So I'm getting to some scriptures. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in Apocrypha chapter 39 verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance. It says, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. It says, in the time of destruction they pour out their force. It says, and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord is the creator of all things. You know what I'm saying? So he also created spirits that are just created just for to be used to destroy things, man. You know, to destroy people. You know, you know, to cause havoc, man. You know, and it could be a person and stuff as well. You know, you know, people that shooting these guns off and stuff. You know, and then next you know, an ominous bullet just come through to somebody's crib and stuff, and then put them to death. You know, all these different accidental fires and stuff that's happening simultaneously within these different jobs or houses and stuff, and the family members that's in there or anybody who gets stuck in there and stuff are dead. You know, the different uh, 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 the different uh, uh, you know, the forest fires down in California. You know what I'm saying? And I believe if you put on Google and stuff, you put like the Ring of Fire or all the fires that happened from 2019 or 2018 to 2019 and stuff, and you see that America is literally in flames, man. You know, verse 29 it says fire. You know, these different forest fires that's going around where, you know, they can't even put it out and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You see when they do actually show it sometimes and stuff, when it comes down to the firefighters, they be outside just looking at the flame because they waiting for more water to come, man. While it's just burning away the acres, man. You know, and then you also had that volcano that erupted and stuff in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just fire and stuff and smoke. It was lightning that was in there, man. You know, it says in hell, and what that movie Day After Tomorrow and stuff. You know, that's a movie of how the Lord will use the weather to be a spirit of vengeance, man. You know, and then the other movie is Geostorm. How Esau have the so-called Caucasians have found how to control the weather and stuff, which they do. You know what I'm saying? You got Harper and all that. You know what I'm saying? How they spun out of control and stuff. And it was, you had that thunderstorm that was the last, and it was just zapping anybody that was outside, man. You know, you know. It says in famine. And what is famine? A scarcity of food. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to Donald Trump and his unruly rulership and whatnot, he got all these other countries and stuff coming against him, you know, and they no longer want to do trade with him, man. You know, you know, meaning that you got a lot of companies that's going into automation that's going to cause people to be out of their jobs, man. And automation is pretty much where they replace people with robots, because robots don't need 401k. Robots don't need health benefits. You know what I'm saying? Or job benefits, man. You know, robots don't need to get paid. You know, so that's gonna also be part of that famine as well. When mass jobs be dropped. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes down to the trucking companies and stuff, there almost every truck company and stuff is filed for bankruptcy and going out of business, man. You know, so who's gonna bring food from off the traits? You know what I'm saying? The crates. You know what I'm saying? You know, off the dock ships. And then if the dock ships people ain't getting no money and stuff, who gonna drive that boat? You know what I'm saying? You know. And then if the other countries don't want to deal within the transatlantic trade, you know what I'm saying? Then if they don't want to trade with us and stuff, trade with America and stuff, then that means we ain't getting no food on no spare parts. So when things break down and stuff, you don't got no new parts to replace it. You know. It says in death, and it's gonna be great death. Every day you see on the news, somebody is dying. You know what I'm saying? You know, what if it's gunshot, impalement, you know what I'm saying? Or they fell off here and fell off there and stuff. And you got different websites like hoodsite.com or bestgore.com and stuff. And it's pretty much a different recording of all the different deaths that's actually happened that's not even reaching the news, man. You know? It says all these were created for vengeance. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is coming after you heathens and stuff for afflicting the nation of Israel, for touching the apple of the Lord's eye, which is the nation of Israel, while they be the elect, the 144,000, which consists of 4,000. It's like touching the elect, which is 144,000, which consists of 12,000 men, each of the 12 tribes of Israel, the government body, and the 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children who are Israelites who believe no matter how they look. You know what I'm saying? And also 2/3 of Israel as well, man. You know? Because they still the chosen line, you know? But they're not the ones that's going to get saved on the first go round. And the thing is that a lot of the heathens and stuff, you know what I'm saying, they're going to get jacked up, you know, but 2/3 of Israel going to get jacked up as well, you know. Verse 30, it says, teeth of wild beasts, it says, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword pushing the wicked to destruction. Now, when it come down to those flash floods, mudslides and stuff, you know, you had women that was going to the grocery store trying to get them a little buggy out there and get them a little cart, you know, within the parking lot after they just parked and stuff in a parking lot, and then next you know they screaming at the top of their lungs and stuff because you got a venomous snake that's within the in the cart, man. You know what I'm saying? Sweat because of the flood. You know, you got alligators and stuff visiting Iowa and stuff, and that's not their crib, or that's not their home, or the land that they was at. You know, you got alligators and stuff hopping fences. You got black bears and stuff looking for food in garbage cans, man. You know, you got Edomites that's just sitting around and stuff and standing still, where there's black bears coming up and coming towards them and stuff. And hey, don't you know cannibalism also cannibalistic thoughts also happen when it come down to animals and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They will eat something that's outside of what they usually eat, man. You know, like say when you come down to a pride of lions and stuff, right? If food is scarce and they real desperate, they'll eat outside their means, man. You know, like usually they'll go for antelope or wildebeest, you know what I'm saying, the calves and stuff. But then if that's not around and stuff, they will take on a giraffe and a elephant, something that's way bigger than their size that can actually kill them. You know what I'm saying? And that also means that they'll actually come after humans, man. You know, if it ain't nothing else to eat. And what the thing about animals and stuff, they can sense when something is diseased or sick and stuff, and not leave it alone. I mean, and leave it alone. You know. I'll read again. It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents. It says, in the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. It says, they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth. It says, when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So when the Lord sends out, you know, somebody to get destroyed by some type of animal and stuff, because it ain't just these mountain lions. You know, it's also these coyotes, these bobcats. You know what I'm saying? You know, your own home dog and stuff can be spirits of vengeance as well, man. You know, the family pet. You know, yeah. You had this one guy and stuff. He had a pit bull. You know, and I know he fed him. You know what I'm saying? The dog didn't have any traces of neglect or abuse and stuff. You know, and a pit bull got a hold of his jugular, his neck and stuff. You know what I'm saying? When they finally got the pit bull off him, the man's was sitting down. He was laying down on a little, hospital mattress and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And every time he breathed, you could see his whole neck had to like stretch just for him to breathe, man. You know, like from his chin to his collarbone and stuff, man. You know, it's like how you see fishes when you pull them out of water and stuff, and their mouth just go up and down like that, just so they can breathe, or they be in shock and stuff because they can't breathe. That's how that man looked. And you had all the nurses, you know what I'm saying, that was in there. They was laughing at him every time he was gasping for air, you know. And guess who actually was laughing at him? It was the Lord, man. Because the scripture says that he shall laugh at your calamity, man. And it tells you that in Proverbs, the first chapter, man. You know. So that's what the Lord is going to do to the wicked, man. You know. The wicked are people and the wicked as well. And also the sons of men, meaning you heathens, you know. This is Second Esdras, chapter 5, starting verse 8. It says there shall be a confusion also in many places. You know what I'm saying? So when all hell breaks loose or when shit hits the fan, you know what I'm saying, people are going to be wondering what's going on. You know, because our people are proud. You know what I'm saying? You know, they think themselves in good case because the victuals are cheap, like it says in uh, uh, Second Esdras 15 and 18 or 16 and 18, you know, uh, 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 that and when they see the destruction and stuff, when it come down to the news, it just seems like everyday life and stuff because they've been immune to it and stuff. They used to it and stuff, you know. But now what's finna happen is that it's finna start. The deaths are finna start ramping up, man. You know, it's gonna be mass death out here and stuff at all different types of ways, man. You know, it says, and the fire shall be often sent out again. It says, and the wild beasts shall change their places. And there you go, man. You got 5 mile lines and stuff. When the study is shown that they don't travel anything larger than groups of three. You know what I'm saying? You know, and as big as those cubs were and stuff. You know they been around more than just 1 year. You know what I'm saying? And then for the fact that they said that the biggest one could have been the mother. Mothers teach the cubs, you know what I'm saying, how to hunt. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like it was only one thing they was out there to do. If they can't find anything else that they normally eat and stuff, then they gonna start getting desperate and eat something outside their means. And what's gonna be the nearest thing? Civilians. You know what I'm saying? It says, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, which is also considered a spirit of vengeance and stuff because everybody got guns now. You know what I'm saying? You got kids out here, you got children out here and stuff that carry guns and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or even grown men or grown women and stuff, and they carry guns and stuff. And the thing is that they'll shoot you down. They'll kill you over some shoes. You know what I'm saying? They'll kill you over small things and stuff, man. You know. You know, this is Jeremiah chapter 15 verse 2. It says, and it shall come to pass if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? It says, then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, such as are for death to death. It says, and such as are for the sword to the sword. The modern day sword is the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Besides just the animals and stuff, you also have Revelations 12 and 12. I'll grab that. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. It says, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. You know what I'm saying? And part of that great wrath is going to be when martial law gets here, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, um, when you're gonna have military out in the streets where it's gonna be curfews and stuff, like all these other countries and stuff that's showing sedition among men, how the people are rising up against their kings and their princes, meaning their presidents, their mayors, you know what I'm saying, those of higher authority and stuff, even the police and the military and stuff, you know, it's gonna be mass death and stuff, man, you know, because the police gonna retaliate and stuff, you know. But when it gets too hectic and stuff, they gonna start shooting off those guns, and Jake is gonna fall by the sword, man. You know, you know. It's and then it was another another it was another video that I believe that it hit the news, regular mainstream news, and it was a guy who was going around with a machete in his hand. You know what I'm saying? And when they took a picture of the machete and stuff, it had blood on it. So he chopped a couple of people, man. You know what I'm saying? It says in such as are for the famine to famine, meaning to die, you know what I'm saying, of starvation. It says in such as are for the captivity to captivity. You know what I'm saying? And also within that famine, you also got cannibalism coming, man. You know, you've seen that in the movie The Road, you know, and the movie I Am Legend, because those monsters, they was just people that was diseased, you know what I'm saying, and once the disease had took over them, you know what I'm saying, they was looking for food, you know what I'm saying, and that's what they represent. And also in the movie, not the movie, but the video game, The Last of Us, the clickers and the runners and stuff, all these different zombie and apocalyptic movies and stuff, those are people who are cannibals, man. You know, and you got some that they go into different stages, just like off the video game. You know, first they are running, then they a creeper and stuff, and then they're a bloater, meaning the biggest, where they just so far gone and stuff in the affection. You know, but in real life, what it's gonna be is that, people gonna be trying to go to the zoos and all that stuff to eat food, to get some food and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Once the famine comes and stuff, and then next thing you know, people gonna be looking at people and stuff. You know, chopping them up like in the movie The Road and stuff. They was preserving them like meat. You know what I'm saying? While they was eating them, anybody they was coming across. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to also have that other stage where people are just going to gouge at anything that they see and stuff, you know, and ain't finna take time to prep it or cook it or make sure that it's well done and stuff. They going to eat bloody meat, man, you know. And it also says in Isaiah 9:20 and stuff that people will actually even eat their own selves, man, you know. And it says, the last one, it says, in such as are for captivity to captivity, you know, being locked up in the FEMA camps and whatnot, man, you know. But, it said, or the Borgs. This is verse 3. It says, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear. Dogs, it's the word kalab, a dog, man. You know what I'm saying? And it said dogs to tear, man. You know, and when dogs get wild again and stuff, when they go back to their wild instinct and stuff, they run in packs, man. You know, and it can be any type of dog, man. You know, let a female dog be in heat and stuff. It's gonna be a bunch of dogs and stuff that's gonna end up gathering together, until they get to her, and until you get to that female dog and stuff. And they'll roll up in packs and stuff, you know, until they get there. You know, it says it says in the fowls of heaven, it says in the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. That word devour is the word akal, which is the adakan Allah, which means to eat, devour, burn up, feed. You know what I'm saying? You know, I believe it was the movie Jurassic Park 3, where they was in that bird cage with the pterodactyls and stuff, and them pterodactyls was landing on the bridge, and they was literally trying to eat, man, you know, and they looked at the people as food, man, you know, the one guy who sacrificed himself and stuff just to lure the pterodactyls away and stuff. They was chopping at him and stuff. They was really like trying to bite his flesh and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, and jumping him while he was in the water. So imagine vultures. Now vultures usually just stand back and stuff until they get a clean shot to go get them something to eat or whatever's left. You know, but imagine if they get bold and stuff. And vultures got sharp beaks, man. You know what I'm saying? They could rip flesh real quick, real easy, man. You know, and then they also got talents. You also got bald eagles. You also got hawks and falcons. You know what I'm saying? And when you stare up in the sky and stuff, it's not a seagull. It's actually a falcon. And I seen a falcon before, twice. You know what I'm saying? It was able to get some food on like a squirrel or something and stuff, and it was just chewing it up, man, and ripping the flesh off with no problem. You know, So the Lord ain't playing, man. You know, Jakes better wake up and get with it and stuff. You know, because to get devoured. Because imagine if you came across a bunch a group of chihuahuas, like a bunch like 30 and stuff. You gonna be looking like, oh, this ain't nothing and stuff, I can handle this. But if they take hold on you and stuff, it's gonna feel like a bunch of piranhas, man. You know, this is Leviticus chapter 26 verse 21. It says and if ye walk contrary unto me. Now when you go into that word contrary, it's the word kwarayah. It's the kwa, the ra, and the yah, kwarayah. It says opposition, to be a op. It says contrariness, encounter, contrary or hostile encounter. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be against the Lord, if you want to be a op of the Lord and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You're saying, and when it says walk, it's talking about the ways that you do, follow the ways of this world. If you don't want to follow the ways of the Bible, and keep reading. It says, and if ye walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, and how you hearken unto the Lord by his prophets. It says, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sins. You know, so if you eat pork, shrimp, lobster, catfish, crab, calamari, you know what I'm saying? You know, sushi and stuff. Unless it's vegetarian, you all good, because it's just veggies wrapped up around some rice. You know what I'm saying? If you like committing adultery, having sex with other men's wives, you know what I'm saying? You women out there that have a boyfriend or a husband and stuff, and y'all trying to be slick and stuff and sleep with other men. You know what I'm saying? Guys and women and stuff that live the homosexual life and stuff. If you continue to do those things and stuff, the Lord's going to destroy you. It says, verse 22. It says, I will also send wild beasts among you. It says, which shall rob you of your children. And you got a lot of people that let their little kids, you know what I'm saying, like maybe like a good 3 to 4. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even 5 and stuff, and just let them walk on their own. A bald eagle will pick your child up and take it to his babies. You know what I'm saying? And those babies will eat you, man. It ain't like how these different stories they show you in different movies and whatnot, how a baby or infant and stuff will get snatched up and then brought around the animals and stuff, and then the animals treat them all nice and stuff like Jungle Book. Now, real talk, the animals would devour them. You know what I'm saying? The only time that's not going to happen is the Lord is with that baby and stuff, or with that child, man. It says, I read again, verse 22, it says, I will also send wild beasts among you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the Lord is doing when it came down to mountain lions, man. Because really what it is a warning, you know what I'm saying, that things about to really, really pop off, man. And it says, which shall rob you of your children. Because just like how lions, they go after the calves, they'll go after the babies as well, man. Let your children be playing out in the park and stuff. You got the mountain lions around and stuff, and then next they just swoop in and devour. It was another video and stuff where it was a leopard a leopard and stuff, and or a jaguar, whichever one. And what happened was is that the jaguar was just going about mauling people down, jumping on people and stuff. And then next thing you know, people was on the roofs of the buildings and stuff, looking at the leopard, man. And that leopard got like a good 3 or 4, 5 people, man. You know, just chewed them up. You know, it says, let it would have been a child in the midst of that, a little kid and stuff. He would have been a goner. You know what I'm saying? It says, and destroy your cattle. It says, and make, destroy your cattle. You know what I'm saying? So if you in the city, hey, your cattle and stuff would pretty much be your dogs and your cats. You know what I'm saying? Your little birds and whatnot, if you got some. You know, your guard dogs and stuff. We understand that dogs are some warriors and stuff, but at the same time, a lot of these dogs nowadays are pussified by their owners, man. You know, they like, they don't have that instinct and stuff. You could roll past, you can catch a dog off guard and stuff, and the dog will run away. You know what I'm saying? It says, and make you few in number. It says, and your highways shall be desolate. You know, so hey, these spirits of vengeance are going to trim down the fat, man. Trim down Israelites, man. And heathens. You know, this is Salakia. This is Wisdom of Solomon in Apocrypha chapter 11, verse 17. It says, for thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form. It says, wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions. And when it come down to bears and stuff climbing up a tree, is not going to be no help. A lot of people seen the movie The Revenant and stuff, and I only seen the commercial and stuff. But the man had to go against a bear. A bear will eat you alive while you still living, man. You know, it says, verse 18. It says, or unknown wild beast, full of rage, newly created, breeding. So it's gonna be creatures that we ain't never seen before, man. All these different mutations and stuff when it comes down to the animals. You know what I'm saying? You also have I just saw on one of these off the article and stuff, like when you scroll down, there was a family that was surprised that they puppy or that they dog had gave birth to a puppy that was lime green, man. You know what I'm saying? Where the fur was lime green. And you also got a caterpillar. The caterpillar looks like it looks like Donald Trump's hairdo and stuff. But if you touch it and it shoots its needles at you and stuff, you can die from that poison. It says and who knows what else is out there and stuff. You got the liger. There ain't no such thing as no liger and stuff, where the lions want to just mix and mingle interspecies making interspecies animals and stuff. They don't do that. That's what Esau does and stuff, so he can create new beasts. It says breed. It says, or unknown wild beast, full of rage, newly created. It says breathing out either a fiery vapor. And a lot of these animals that's gonna come out and stuff is when these people gonna be going into the zoos looking for food and stuff, and they gonna look at it as their chance to escape. You know what I'm saying? So imagine a bunch of silverbacks, like a good 3-4 silverbacks and stuff, and they smell the food and they just in people's garbage. But then they see you and they get to running after you and stuff, man. That's something that you don't want to see, because they use those big old forearms to smash you, man. Y'all seen the movie Tarzan, the real version and stuff, how that ape was smacking him around, man. It says or filthy scents of scattered smoke. You know what I'm saying? Skunks. It actually burns your eyes and stuff. People been seeing certain fishermen and stuff. They've been seeing like uh, uh, giant dead squids and stuff, and they big. It's size of boats, man. You know, it says, and then you also got the Leviathan. You know, it was I think it was the Chinese president. I'm not sure, but whatever waters it was this gigantic hole and stuff that none of their machinery and stuff was able to go down because the pressure was too big. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a gigantic hole that was at the bottom of the sea floor. You know what I'm saying? And the scriptures do talk about the Leviathan. You know what I'm saying? It's also and when it's not used as a metaphor or a parable, you know what I'm saying, where it's actually a real live creature, you know what I'm saying, and this is where they get Godzilla from. Godzilla is actually the Leviathan that's written in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, and then you also got the Behemoth, you know, it says or shooting horrible sparks out of their eyes. So it's gonna be animals that's gonna have laser beams, man, you know, and there was another video that was it was a long time ago and stuff where this man had went into one of those caves in one of those mountains and stuff, and it literally looked like a dragon, and you saw gigantic eggs about the same size as a woman pregnant with twins, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the best example I could think of right now. But it was huge. It was a huge, and then it was hatched, and it was hatchings in there. Now it could have been fake, you know, but at the same time, you know, you got your Komodo dragons and iguanas and all that stuff, man. Those descend from something, man. You know, fire breathing dragons and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if it is true. You know. You know, it says, verse 19, it says, whereof not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroyed them. You know what I'm saying? Men's hearts fell in them. You know what I'm saying? Like it says in Luke, the 21st chapter. You know, it's gonna be some creatures and stuff that you're gonna see and stuff, and it's gonna be so scary that it's gonna be enough to have you die right on spot, man. You know, you know. This, you know, so this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And this time that's finna come where it gets real hectic and stuff is Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7, surely at last that day is great, and it's none like it. It's even a time of Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? But he shall be saved out of it. And he shall be saved out of it. It's talking about the elect. It says verse 2. It says a time to be born and a time to die. And it's going to be a time to die. It says a time to plant. It says in a time to pluck up that which is planted. It says a time to kill. A lot of things are created to kill people, man. You know what I'm saying? Not just people. You know what I'm saying? It's also going to be animals. It's also going to be the weather. You know? Look at down in the Bahamas and stuff when they had that tornado and stuff, you know, all that debris that was out there, people was dead, you know. It says in a time to heal, it says a time to break down and a time to build up. It says a time to weep because there's gonna be a lot of death out here, man, you know, and people that's you know, people that you know, people are gonna be crying, man, you know. It says, in a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. And also, when you see on the news, people are crashing into buildings and stuff, man. You know, so you could just be sitting at the table with your auntie and stuff, drinking tea and stuff with those big old fancy hats and whatnot. The next thing you know, the whole wall just collapse on you and stuff with the force of the vehicle that's coming through, man. You know. You know, and that's pretty much it, man. You know, so you better get right now and stuff, because other than that, you don't want to be on the opposite side of the Lord. You don't want to be coming up against him, man. You want to be with him, man. You know, you want to be on the same side. You want the hedge. You know what I'm saying? You want the protection of the Lord and stuff, because if you don't, you're a goner. And I hope this video was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahshua, Wahara, Chakadash. Double honors to apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we ought to be. Shalom and a bar for ball.